Oh, thank you.
Not that you should be doing that.
Just a bit harder.
Whoever wants to say amen, we'll make another malach to win and bring the Mashiach B'Chatar in Norland. The summit.
Amen.
Anybody would like to smell, make a bracha?
Is that holding the?
We can, yeah, but we could get something else.
Thanks for making my own.
Oh, okay.
Those
Doesn't
aren't bad.
smell. They're not strong.
Right.
They're soft.
You want to smell?
Is it compulsory to dress up for the foreign party?
It's going to answer my bracha.
What? Is it compulsory to
No,
dress up?
No, because I
don't know if you know about Stanford Hill. It's very, very Hasidic. And any female or any child doesn't dress up.
We there, I deal with women don't make a sound.
that's the way it should be. Oh, you mean no? They don't make like this one.
Not too.
In Gateshead, in Gateshead, the women don't go out. Megillah and the progressive, they don't go out.
My daughter was in Gateshead.
Do you remember that?
Well, we could change into our costume once we get here also. So we're inside instead of going to buses or cars or streets or walking like a clown or something. Whatever.
And all that makeup.
Yeah, that's true. That could be tricky.
Everybody will be like, Chris.
More tricky. So whoever had or whoever wants, we should smell the footsteps of Mashiach and smell the fish of the Sudas Libyasan very soon. And Vayakhel B'Yiras Hashem, we should smell fear of Hashem, fear of heaven, and all the simchas of being a Jew. So we have a beautiful parsha. We're coming to the end of the parshas of Shemos, and we're starting Vayikra and soon. And this parsha so much shows us how much Hashem loves us, how much Moshe Rabbeinu loves us, how he gets Hashem from being angry at us. I mean, after all, it was the worst thing in history what happened. Right after we received the Torah, which is a wedding between us and Hashem forever, right after that, go and make it. The Jewish people went and made an idol. It's like the height of not being faithful to the one who's ours forever, to Hashem, who promised to be our la'olam, I love you forever. And this was the kesubah, this was the marriage contract. I mean, I can't picture anything worse. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, Lama, like, why are you upset? Why am I upset? There's reason to be upset. Like, but they're so sweet. They're so sweet, the Jewish people. And he brought about an appeasement. He brought about Hashem saying, I forgive them. And that's when Hashem taught him, and through him us, the 13 midos of Rachamim, that whenever we say them, Hashem's 13 ways of having Rachmanas and Rachamim, Shalosh Esrei midos, the 13 midos, characteristics of mercy that Hashem has for us, we are answered. We don't go away unanswered. And this was, so much love came from that lowest point of being upset. And after we had sinned so much, how can we lift our face? In fact, much of this is based on Rev Fishel Schachter and Rev Moshe Daron. The first pasuk of Vayakhel says, Vayakhel Moshe es ha'am, es call adas b'nei Yisrael. Moshe called together the whole Jewish people. Seems like it might be like extra, superfluous in a way to say that, because not one word and not one letter of the whole Torah is extra. It says, Vayomer Aleim. Okay, let's add Moshe. Vayomer Moshe adas b'nei Yisrael. Why he gathered? Just for that reason. We were feeling so low. We were feeling giving up. We just did the worst thing that we could have done. We're not part. Hashem doesn't want us. You don't want us. You don't relate to us anymore. We really, we're giving up. And Moshe said, I love all of you. Call adas. You see the word call in the first pasuk? Moses brought together and call each and every one of us. He says, I'm not giving up on any of you. I'm not allowing any of you to be absent because each of you is precious. And I'm helping you to come back to where you were before the sin. And that's the first pasuk. Vayakhel Moshe call adas b'nei Yisrael. Each and every one of us he brought together. What's beautiful is that I just heard last night, Tzipi said that when Shlomo Karabach would talk, and there's a story about Shlomo Karabach, get there, he would say, everybody open your hearts wide, because I'm going to tell you something so deep and so real, like, just like, you know, as you see, what's coming. So what's coming is this. Each Jew is a letter in the Sefer Torah. Each Jew, there were originally 600,000 Jews that left Egypt or that received the Torah, and 600,000 letters of the Torah. And if one letter or even one part of a letter is erased at all, the Torah is puzzled. We have to take out another one from the Aron. We cannot read it. That means if one Jew is off, even partially, like machu, like I'm not in, God forbid, one Jew is far, one Jew is not keeping Torah and mitzvahs, we're not full. There's no Am Yisrael, there's no Mashiach yet. And so that's 600,000 Jews, because we and the Torah are one. We, Hashem, and the Torah are one. And there's also 600,000 Shabbosos in creation. How does the Shlah HaKadosh tells us that? 600,000 Shabbosos for the whole creation. We know there's 6,000 years, right? And every year, there's 50 weeks per year. So that brings us up to 3,000. So why double it to 6,000? He has a whole formula. Because on Shabbos, we have a Neshama Yisera. So it gets like a double. And so he gets up to the grand total of 600,000. And there's 600,000 parts of Eretz Yisrael that was divided. We know the 12 for all the Shvatim, but there are also smaller divisions of 600,000. And so each and every one of us has a portion of the land of Israel, and it corresponds to the portion of the letter we have in the Sefer Torah, and it corresponds to our Shabbos. Each of us, every Shabbos is special. Every Shabbos we keep and we love, and we're excited. But one Shabbos is our Shabbos. I don't know if anybody felt that. Maybe their first Shabbos, maybe last week, maybe every Shabbos is my Shabbos. But each of us have a special Shabbos, even though all of them are connected, like all the letters of the Torah are connected, and each of us have a letter.
I tell you, we did Shabbos of our birthday.
Shabbos of your birthday. Oh, that could be the special that comes yearly.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's very special. Does anyone can remember or, think of a Shabbos that was like they would call it my Shabbos because it was so special.
My first baby was born on Shabbos.
I think that's
It was special.
very special Shabbos because one Shabbos in our lifetime is like every Shabbos. That's like the keser, the crown of all the Shabbos of our life.
I started keeping Shabbos 10 years ago.
Wow, the first one.
Just over 10 years. First Shabbos project. You know about the Shabbos
Oh,
project?
wow. I heard that women left the hairdresser's salon and they made the appointment for Friday or Sunday and they were there. That was your first. Wow. Here, I thought you were from since you're born. You're so from what?
All the time switches were sold out. You could not find a shop that had a time switch.
What's those times?
To make the lights go off or the kettle come on, whatever.
Really?
It was wow.
It's Rabbi Goldstein, right?
Yeah.
Did both of you know him or have met him or?
Yeah, don't know him.
I don't know him personally. I've met him. I've spoken to him. I went to tell him what he did for me.
Really?
Oh. After I made Aliyah just after my 5th year in Shabbos. And then 2 years later or something. Because of me keeping Shabbos, I married my holy tzaddik.
Oh.
It's very special. It's Rabbi Goldstein.
Yeah.
He's so normal, so relaxed.
What an idea. The whole
Absolutely.
country to keep
The whole
Shabbos.
country, but the first Shabbos we kept, and the whole world heard about it. And they're like, "What's your Shabbos?" They were like, on the phone to him. They wanted to bring him
Oh,
to
other
the
countries?
Yes.
Other
Oh,
countries.
It's a worldwide
Is
thing
that-
now.
Is that
Yeah.
where the Hannah project started?
Yes.
Like the Hannah Beit
God bless
Knesset.
him.
And he
Wow.
also
Yeah, the
had
first
Sinai
time.
and Gaba when
Yeah.
people would get together and talk.
Really, I just heard about a congregation in Colombia where the pastor of the congregation, a young man, they came to Israel to visit, and he loved Israel so much, and he started seeing the truth of the Torah, and he had 6,000 congregants, and he made his last speech, his last sermon, saying, "This is my last sermon. I meant everything with love. I meant everything sincerely, but I cannot tell you anymore. I don't feel it anymore. I feel it's not true. It's lies. And from now on, I am now beginning to convert to Judaism." Of the six, did you hear about him? In Colombia, of the 6,000, 300 converted.
Wow.
A conversion team came from the United States, Ligair, 300, and they have, they're so excited about Torah. And his wife cries when I saw her crying, "I want my children to learn Torah and to do mitzvahs." I didn't understand anything. It's all in whatever, Spanish.
Oh.
But they translated it. And I understood words like Torah and mitzvahs. That I understood. And so special. But I'm guessing that after that beautiful Shabbos, many people, I don't want to say most, went back to the next Shabbos. Business
Yeah,
as
but
usual.
every year,
But it's every
it
year.
was one family. It's one.
For sure. But how did you, after that one, get so ignited and so?
So I was trying beforehand, and I got a bracha from a Rebbe. I had an issue with my back, and he told me keep Shabbos. And I'm like, I was living with my parents, and how am I going to get them to? What are they anti? I said, no, they're like supportive, but it's a Shabbos project. I'll join you. Just the Shabbos. So I did it just the Shabbos. I switched. They had two refrigerators. Turned off the light in the back one. I said, just for the Shabbos.
Just for you asked them, just for
The back
one,
yeah.
for 1
I
week.
didn't want to like turn the world upside down. I mean, I was already on the process.
Yes.
But like it was so amazing, and what they did in South Africa the first year, it was the first few years, it was like incredible, like the whole 6 hours of
Tables
communal
in the streets and
Dancing, food, out.
food and
This-
shirim and the chalabak. I couldn't get to the chalabak. That's why I got brought. I was walking. It's such a back problem. And I could hear the music from where I was staying, and my friends were messaging, "You have to come, you have to." So I can't stay. Just come. You've got to be part of it. And like outside the street, actually outside my friend's house, tails. They closed the whole street.
This is like on Friday or Thursday night.
Thursday
Chalabak. And you went
I went.
in all that pain? Wow.
Hashem took me.
Hashem,
And then I went into my friend and I said, "Nah, because there I can't get to it." So he went to go and fetch it. But it was amazing. And then somehow or other I managed to walk to shore.
Wow.
I think we left the car then I walked home. With my parents, they took it on.
They took on also
The
Shabbos?
first Shabbos.
Oh, wow.
And they do a little bit. I mean, they came here twice. Another first time for sure they kept Shabbos, or my dad certainly did. He was so excited. But there are other people that kept from that Shabbos.
A bit of history. Rabbi Goldstein's Rosh Hashiva was Rav Azriel Goldfein, who was a Telja Talmud, and he came to this backwater of Africa, and he started a yeshiva and he turned out Rabbanim like Rabbi Goldstein's caliber. So he's
wow,
and his
amazing.
Rebbitzin started a nursery school that's now a boys' high school and a girls' high school, and
These are
really,
real heroes that
Yeah.
bring Hashem into the lives of everyone. Because
he was
our neshama is so pure. Each and every one of us, no matter how we look on the outside, no matter even if, and this I didn't make up, but it's not. We make an avodah zarah. We have a golden calf, and so you think, okay, I'm giving up. I'm a big X on my name. Hashem's not going to look at me forever. I'm like out. I'm out of the picture. No. The next day, Hashem said, make a mishkan. He forgave us. And who was the, I don't say intermediate, but the tzaddik that helped us and that had faith in us is Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu. And of every generation, the tzaddik has faith. If we would just have a percentage of the faith in ourselves, and tzaddik that Moshe Rabbeinu has in us, we'd be flying. We wouldn't give up. We'd say, I'm the center. And when we bring, remember, every part of the Torah is very short, not every, but usually never anything is wasted. We can learn a lot of halachas, a lot of laws from one word in the Torah. We could even learn from like an extra letter. For example, kabed es avicha, you should honor your father. What's es? That's maybe grammatically correct, whatever. And the rabbis have taught us this includes just the word es, your older brother. So here in the Mishnah, Hashem is saying, it seems repeatedly over and over again, there's such repetition, and so to the smallest detail of each socket, and like each screw that's building the Mishkan. Why? Torah is not just a manual. It's not just a teaching us steps and how to build something. It's not a building manual for the Mishkan. The Torah is our whole life. The Torah is everything that we are. It's ruchnius, it's spirituality, it's our neshama. And we can learn from this how important the Mishkan is. It's not just technical. The Mishkan is our life. In fact, we see in the pasuk it says, Hashem says, build for me a Mishkan and I will dwell in them, in the heart of every single Jew. And so the Mishkan brings Hashem down to dwelling in us. Interestingly, though, when was it built? When did Hashem command Moshe to tell us to build it? Right after the Jewish people made the Egel. Can you imagine the timing? Made it on, he was supposed to come down, I believe, on Yom Kippur. He was a few hours late, made the Egel, but Macharat, the next day, the 11th of Tishrei, make a Mishkan. And that's a big jump from being in the lowest to the highest. And how did this happen? If we can find in ourselves our good points, the good points that each and every one of us have, even if it's covered with a lot of dirt and layers of golus, of exile, of sin, God forbid, could be generations of sin, God forbid. We can bring the Mishkan into our heart, and that's how we build the Mishkan. As Hashem said, and shachati b'socham, if we can do it for ourselves, the next step is the Mishkan, and then we can do it for the world. And when we're asleep, spiritually, how do we wake up? We wake up by searching and finding the good inside of us. And otherwise, there's no good. I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm going to turn over. I'm not helping anyone in this world. Not me, not my neighbor, nobody. So, nobody will miss me. Good night. If I can find a good, that I can say a bracha, that I could say amen, that I could learn together in Bas Medrash, that I could smile, there's reason to get up, and there's reason to build that Mishkan inside of me. King David says, I think in Perek Gimel, 3rd chapter of Tehillim, Marabu Sarai, how great are my enemies. Who's he referring to?
His son.
I'm sorry?
His son.
His son, yeah, he had enemies. He had a lot of enemies. On the deeper Panemius level, he's referring to the Yetzer Hara, to his sins. Because what gets us down? The fact that we feel I'm just not up to par. I'm just not doing what Hashem wants. I'm just not serving him. I'm just not being the Jew that I could be, that I want to be, that I don't want to be, but I want to be. I'm just not there. And that's our biggest enemy that keeps us down. But if and that enemy whispers to us, you're finished. You have no chance. You're out of the picture. That's the Yetzer Hara. But if I could feel Rabbi Sarai, Rabim Komim Alai, many people come and say to me, forget it, go back to sleep. You're not helping anyone by being up. Nobody's noticing and nobody cares, and you're not making the world a better place. You're not giving Hashem that. Forget it. You look at what you've done. Look where you're at. Then he goes on to say, Hashem Yismachayim. I look for the good inside of myself, and what do I find? I find Hashem. Because we know there's a quote, I think, from the Ramchal, Hashem and the Torah and the Jewish people are all one. So inside of me is Hashem. And when I do a mitzvah, I connect with the Hashem that's inside of me, and that's eternal, and that's greater, stronger. It has more weight, shines brighter than all the sins in the book, God forbid. And then, lo irara, I'm no longer afraid. I'm no longer afraid because I found my good. I found the footsteps. I found the whispers of Hashem inside my heart. And together, I'm going to build my Mishkan, the Socham, and together Hashem will build and come to his Mishkan. So there's Apostle King Solomon, Shlomo Melech says in Shir Hashirim, he says something very interesting. Shechora ani, I am black, vinava, and beautiful. Shechora, you know what the word shachora means? Shachor, I am black, vinava, and I am beautiful. What is the word shechora? Well, how do we say the morning? How do we say the prayers of the morning here? Shacharis. When does the morning turn from night? Something called alot hashachar, that the light comes out. It's called kochav hashachar. There's like a star that comes out, and that heralds in the day. So what is the word shachar? Is it dark or is it morning? Which one is it? Which one is it? So that's the beauty of a Jew. That's the beauty of who we are. We have that dark side and we have the other side. Everything looks dark. I've fallen into a low place. I'm kaput. Like, what do we call those guys? Hezbollah and Hamas. Yeah, I feel like low like that. We have names for them because they don't deserve to be called by name. But what's the real truth? We don't have to act and pretend like I'm going to smile and be nice and be like pleasant and have good manners so nobody will catch on to the real me. Nobody will discover the bad inside. I'm going to like put on a good act like we sometimes see people do in some different countries. I'm not going to say even where. So nobody should find out my real intentions and my real, no, I have nothing to hide. None of us have to act. The real us, the real truth is that we are sweet and we are pure. It looks bleak, it looks like dirt but the truth is that we're good. Each of us and each and every one of us is good. Hashem will be revealed in the world, the Mishkan, when I believe he's revealed in me. So Hashem is rooting for us. Hashem believes in us. Moshe Rabbeinu believes in us. Do we believe in ourselves? The more we can come out and build the Mishkan. The more we can be true Jews because we're connecting to our true self, which is the beauty of our soul. Hashem was appeased by Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu had Mesiras Nefesh. I looked up the word Mesiras Nefesh. It said martyrdom, like he was a martyr. He was even more than that. He was willing to give up everything for the sake of the Jewish people. And nothing is worse than what we did then, when we started to serve this idol, to create the idol, to build the idol. And yet, what did he come to say? What could he say to Hashem? Don't be angry at them. Why not? They deserve it. What could he, as a defense attorney, what could he come and say in our defense? What? So you know what he did? I like this. The intersection, the Chet HaEgel was very bad, right? It distanced Hashem from the world. And the Mishkan is very good. It brings Hashem into the world, into each of us. It's the light of the world, which we should be the light to the nations. I made it much too big, but if this is the Egel, and this is the Mishkan, it's much smaller. It's the size of a dot. I made it way too big. The intersection, you remember in math, there like two circles intersect, then we have to know how big they are. That's where I stopped. But You see that little dot where they intersect? That's the small point that he held on to and said to Hashem, even though the Egel was terrible and the Mishkan is light, it's the same Jewish people that love you and are honest and are faithful to you. How? What did he find to come to our defense? So the Medrash says he found the words nitba'im la'egel v'notnim nitba'im la'mishkan. When they were asked to contribute their jewelry, their earrings and everything to the Egel, they did. But they didn't do it out of badness, out of wanting to rebel against Hashem, out of like very, very bad intentions. They did it because they were asked, I have a very good cause and I'm collecting tzedakah. Could you give to my good cause? Nobody is bad. Nobody wakes up in the morning as a child and says, I want to be bad. Not one Jew is bad. They made a mistake. They were misled. They were confused. It happens to all of us.
The woman didn't give.
Yay. Okay, that's why we're bringing Mashiach. We are bringing Mashiach in our generation, the women of our generation.
Woman. I learned that at the
That
Yam Suf,
Oh, yeah.
everybody sang, but the woman brought out the tambourines and danced as well. Because of that, they were saved from the
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Toph Miriam. Yeah. The tambourine. Yeah, that's what it's called. And the Mishkan that brings light to the world, that brings Hashem down. So when they were asked to give money for the Mishkan, they also contributed. They also donated. So it's the same person that deep inside, that's the proof. They would have only donated for the Egel and not the Mishkan. Okay, they could have very bad intentions, but they gave to both. Okay, the first time around, it did not work out well. The first time around, it was confusing, it was dark, it was mean, it was bad, it was evil. But the same people gave to the Mishkan. And so they want good. We all want good. And this desire to give is that Nekuda Tova, that small, like you can hardly see it, you need a microscope or a magnifying glass to see it, is the good that Moshe found in us. He told it to Hashem. And this is the point, the common denominator. And so, even though many of us are fallen, it's like to do tshuva. Some people think tshuva is so very, very hard to do because I'm really bad. So if I do tshuva, I have to change myself. I have to turn into a pretzel. I have to like kill myself, God forbid, to change who I really am. No, tshuva is very simple. It's not becoming like frum or Torah observant from being not from. That's more than true. That's a nace. That's a miracle. But something I did wrong, and like, I'm really sorry. It wasn't me. I don't know what got over me. The real me is good. I'm like, oh, how could I have done that? I'm so sorry. That's it. It's done. That's called tshuva. Chafetz Chaim said the world thinks that tshuva is like a bear, so heavy. And it's so scary, and it's so almost impossible. But I say, the Chafetz Chaim said, tshuva is like a broom. A broom. There's a little dirt. I did something wrong. Sweep it up. Walk over to the garbage. Put it in. It's done. It makes it easy. Because the real me is not that bear that's terrible. The real me is good and pure. Yeah. So I messed up. I got a little dirty. In fact, Shlomo Melech also in Shir Shirim, he says, Bo leginat ha'egos, batzi. I came to the garden of nuts, egozim, walnuts. The Jewish people are compared to a walnut. How? Cover is very, very hard. It's a hard nut to crack. We say, it's hard. It's very hard. You got to pound, you got to get a hammer, you got to step on it. And inside it's soft. And what if that walnut rolls into the dirt, rolls into the mud, gets full of mud? When you open it, nothing is touched. It's all clean. It wasn't affected. And that's us. Even if we're rolling in the mud for years, inside we're clean, inside we're pure. So if we can remember that about ourselves, much of the reality is how we perceive it. If I can perceive myself as good, I am good. Like it says the word machshava and bisimcha are the same letters, exactly, thought and happiness. If I can switch it around and I could think positively about myself, about others, then it will happen.
What's the words for that?
Oh, I'll show you. Machshava, maybe my handwriting's not so great, and bisimcha. This is happy, and this is thought. My brother loves to say this.
Makshana.
Right. So you see the word moach in here because we think from our mind. The word machshava means a thought. The only machshava, I was thinking to go to the yam today. Machshava is thought, and bisimcha is happy. And as you could see, they share the same exact letters, just like, Scrabble, they're mixed around. So here's the base and the sin, the mem, ches, hey. I think we got it there. So it's how we look at something. Yeah, it hasn't to me often, I would say, nothing happened in my life that got better, like different issues, let's say, or problems were resolved. In fact, sometimes things got worse or heavier or less to what I'd hoped for. And yet I'm in a better mood. I'm more besimcha. So it's not exactly what comes out and happens to me. It's what comes from inside. How I respond, how I feel about it, how I strengthen myself, how I look for the good. And that's besimcha. So if I look for the good inside of me, like Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu, the tzaddik does, I'll find that good. I'll find them. In Yiddish, there's an expression, trach gut, that's sein good.
Think good.
Think good, it will be good. Much as it's how we look at something, how we feel about it, how we perceive it. And so, since we know our pure inner desire is to do good, so anything that's not good, just like wipe it up, like the Chafetz Chaim said. Just take a broom and zo. It's finished because the real me is real good. And went on to say, Moshe Rabbeinu could find that dot of good and build from there, because even in the lowest of the low, and from that good, we can be'emet turn to good, and from that good, we can build the Mishkan. What is the Mishkan? Hashem said, build a Mishkan, have the Jewish people bring gold, silver, copper, threads, linens, argaman, different beautiful, yeah. And each one gave what's inside of him. It would be pretty boring if everyone gave silver. We're all the same. We're not all the same. Each of us are unique. Each of us have a unique mission and a unique inside to give Hashem and to give the world something that no one else can. No one else can. Sometimes they make a picture. A very famous artist will make a picture, a drawing, like 100 times. And then they have a number on it. This is 2 out of 100. This is 50. And they're very expensive because they're rare. There's only 100. And it's original. And they get a lot of money for it. Well, each of us is 1 out of 1. Each of us is unique, original, and nobody else can do what we can do. There's a beautiful story from the Gemara that describes this. Reb Abaya, heard of him? Rav and Abaya, big rabbi in the Gemara. And he used to receive with a baskol, with a heavenly voice, once a year on Erev Yom Kippur, Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Abba, like, hello, good morning. And it made him feel so good. It's like in Shemayim, Hashem is like saying, I appreciate you. I see you. I'm proud of you. Good morning. Like, it made him feel like all my effort is being seen. It's not for nothing. And it was his highlight. Then you know what he found out? There's somebody that receives that same good morning from heaven daily. Not once a year, but every day. He went to meet him. Thought, wow, big time Rav. He wasn't a rabbi. He wasn't a Talmud Chacham of the Gemara. He didn't, write he was a doctor. Abba Umna was his name. It's true he did some very, very special things in his practice, in his doctor's office. It was very tznius how he took care of the women, like cloth, and he was afraid that somebody would be embarrassed if they couldn't pay for his services. Come to a doctor, and he didn't want to embarrass anyone, so he had a big box. He had a big box, and people would put their hand in the box, and that's how they would pay. But if they couldn't afford to pay, they would put nothing in. And if they couldn't afford anything and really were poor, they would take money out. And nobody knew. So he went and asked about this doctor. And he said, I also want to do that. I also want to do that to get Shalom Aleichem daily. And you know what? He was answered, you can't. You can't come to the Madrega, to the place of this Dr. Abba Umna. He was a big tzaddik, big Talmid Chacham, but everyone is unique. He gave up himself, the doctor, in such a beautiful way. So we don't have to compare ourselves. Who said this? Reb Zusha, I think, said, when I pass away after 120 years, they're not going to ask me, Zusha, how come you weren't Moshe Rabbeinu? You're going to say, Zusha, why weren't you the Zusha you could have been? That's how they'll ask us. Why weren't we who I could have been? We don't have to look at anyone else who's greater. This doctor, we could get, maybe you're getting it every morning after everything you did. You don't want to tell? If heaven says good morning, I don't want to be. Maybe I'm not allowed. If you tell, it might stop. Better not to tell us.
Hashem says good morning to us all. Sun comes out, bright, beautiful, new day.
And in our Moda'ana, he's telling us, I have a moon in you that you're going to have the best day. I'm going to be proud of you for today. And today is the only day we have. Who said that? Did you say? Somebody this morning said, it's just today. Oh. It's just today. Because tomorrow's not, who knows? Only good things to all of us in Tzfat, only good peace and good things. And if we prepare all our water, it's very good. And it's electricity in a second type that doesn't go out. And we prepare as much, put like money in the bank, as much prayers and as much simcha, as much dancing, as much showing Hashem we believe in you. They'll say, okay, let's just get on with Mashiach. Okay.
Maybe have some money at home instead of all in the bank. You may not get to.
Right. But money in the bank is Tehillim, in the spiritual bank.
Oh, that's
That thing, we got to prepare ourselves. It's also good. So Reb Shlomo Carlebach, that's how we started talking about him last night. He was in Manhattan, and a very scary person came up to him with a gun that was loaded and said, give me your money. So it was it. Like, that's it. His minutes are numbered. And he started to cry. So this scary Ganef, big and tall, killer also, figured he's crying because he's about to leave this world. But he wasn't crying like everybody else cries. There's something about it. He said to him, Jew, there's a picture of Shlomo Carlebach. I can't believe it. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Hashem telling us. Wow. Yeah, telling us. It's a good story. Why are you crying? He said, look, I'm not crying because I'm about to go on to the next world. It's a world of truth. And that's not why I'm crying. I'm crying because I feel badly for you. I am pained because of you. I feel very, very badly because I'm crying for you. How did you get to such a place? How did you get here? For a few bucks, you're willing to kill someone? I feel so sorry for you. You could lead a good life. You could get a good job. You could have a livelihood. You could be a proud person. You could do it. How did you fall this far? Then you wouldn't have to rob and kill. You know what happened? That big, tall man put down his gun and started crying. Shlomo Carlebach. And that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story. Because each of us is good. Each of us has so much good inside of us. If we would just tap into it and see that good, I was gonna compare myself. Like, I forgot to do something. I forgot to make something. I forgot to do something. Whatever. And I said, oh no, not again. You did it. You blew it. You burned it, etc. Firstly, it's not a sin. So that's good, because even if it would be a sin, I could say, I'm sorry, I'd sweep it away and throw it away. And it's not a sin like serving avodah zarah, because like the golden calf. So I said, well, that's kid stuff. That's okay. Don't get upset. Don't get down for that. So we don't have to get down for anything. If we compare ourselves to how Moshe Rabbeinu found that little intersection of good after the calf, we can find an intersection of good. I can find, but wait, there is one thing I did good in the last 10 years. There's one thing I did good in the last 10 minutes. I'm going to hang on to that. If we can do it, Hashem does it. The tzaddik, Moshe Rabbeinu does it. If we can do it, we bring the Mishkan into ourselves, Hashem, and we bring it to the world. So I don't know if that's not like motivation to do it with passion and with love and with excitement and with feeling and believing in ourselves.
When you were talking about forgiving somebody, one area I have trouble with is when somebody does something really hurtful. They never ask for forgiveness. They don't even maybe recognize what they did was so awful. And you try and try to forgive them. And you get to the point where you forgive them, but you can't forget it. It's like, how do you wipe that out? There's no delete button.
Yeah.
It's hard. How do you wipe that out of your memory?
Good question.
Yeah.
Everybody comes up with the answer.
Well, yeah, and I don't know.
Has it got things such a positive?
Goes, but occasionally something triggers this memory and
Yeah.
aspect.
I could think
Yeah.
of sometimes because it's socially off. I remember I couldn't nurse my breastfeed baby. Somebody asked me, "Are you feeding her yourself?" So I said, "No, if I don't have it." We didn't try hard enough, did you? And I was
Right.
so hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
And being a Bas Medrash, I thought breastfeeding was to do Yiddish cat. I wasn't fucking bothered to do it. I still remember that now. I think myself, maybe she was a bit socially off because it's not the sort of question you'll ask. Or maybe she tried to find me to apologise but didn't know my name. But it was just really, really hurtful.
Like if we can feel that this person is socially off, this person doesn't have it. This
But
person,
this one particular one isn't socially off, and
Maybe she said she had a bad day or something happened.
Some people don't have a filter. They see what's in their mind. That
Yeah.
in my head, but I have to actually verbalise
Let it all
I
out,
just don't have a filter.
And the Talmud Devorah said, did this person ever do anything good for me? And hang on, that could be that intersection, or ever did good for anyone. And if we can hang on to that, maybe it could like ease
it's
the.
just the things that were said. Like, how do you wipe that out? I can't forget
Yeah.
because they were so hurtful. You know, it's like, and I would never say anything like that to that person. By the way, if anybody was here when I said stupid social worker, forget that, delete that.
That was last week.
I was annoyed because she came to my house without an appointment.
Yeah.
But
I had the
she's
same
not
thing. I also couldn't breastfeed my first baby, and my neighbor said, "Don't worry, he'll still call you mommy." So that was yeah.
But yeah, it's like
So I'm sure your child will still call you mommy.
with my mama.
But it's amazing.
But sometimes, you
I
know,
know.
Huh?
sometimes we need to go the extra mile, meaning maybe go above and beyond, just give her a nice present, or do something, you know, that's,
We have a very good relationship,
yeah.
you know, and it's because I kept my mouth shut for 6 months. I never brought up
Yeah.
Does she know?
what happened, and then after 6 months, that person brought it up. But they didn't apologize.
Oh,
they
brought it
didn't.
up.
They brought it up sort of like, and I hope you don't do that.
Well, the opposite of apologize.
Right.
Did you say, Ella, maybe, you know, I was really hurt or anything? You didn't let her know how you felt.
Not yet.
Oh, maybe she doesn't really realize that it was hurtful.
Some people don't know how to apologize.
Yeah.
I
They
think a
can't
lot of
see that
people
they're
can't
wrong.
say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they don't feel good about themselves,
Thank you, and I'm
that's
sorry,
what break
and
them.
Well, as a
Sorry.
social worker, I diagnosed what the problem is. She had a horrible sister, horrible, who was spoiled rotten, and she was never allowed by her parents to say anything negative. So
It's always
I'm
something
getting,
negative,
she
yeah.
feels comfortable enough to say the things to me that she wished she'd said to her sister. I don't want her to be that comfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, I
But it's
have,
not coming from a bad place.
No,
That's
no.
coming from a feeling like your sister that she wished she would have had, like so close.
I don't know, the thing she said to me doesn't sound like she wanted me either.
Maybe she doesn't know how to
I
do
think
different.
that's really
But
nice.
Maybe doesn't know how to do different. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what she lived
one of
with.
the things she said to me was that you're always trying to help people. I
Oh, that's
said,
such a bad thing.
that's a bad thing. She said, well, if it's family, I said, it's a bad thing to help family. Well, if they don't ask you, I said, who did I help that didn't ask? I mean, and she brought up something that didn't make any sense. Anyway, we all have these things, and you know what part of it is like you always wonder, you have to, you know, you always wonder, is there any truth to what she said? Am I really? No,
Yes,
do other
that
people
always
think that
would
too?
be, yes.
You know, like, does somebody else think that?
No, you can feel very, very comfortable. We're, well, you have good advice. One of
But
the
if
reasons.
you clear that up with Hashem as well, so if you clear that up, if you think that, okay, maybe there's some truth to it, take it to Hashem. Hashem, if there is truth, show me. If you know something, you or Hashem show you something, okay. But the point is, you took it to Hashem, you know, you should feel good about that.
I tell you why it's bothering me so much right now. She's very sick. She's very sick, and I'm saying to Hashem, if anything about what happened between us is bringing any kind of judgment on her, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't, you know.
That's forgiving in your heart.
Yeah.
Oh my
so-
goodness.
No, Purim is coming, like you said, to go the extra mile. So one of the
Oh, yeah, it's a
reasons
good
of Shalach
time.
Manas is if we had a misunderstanding or something that wasn't smooth or, you know, in our heart for someone, we give Shalach Manas, and it's meant, that's its purpose, to go to Ava, to Shalom, to increase love and peace between friends. So,
We say that in
True.
Shakti too, that anything we say, let it not affect the other person in terms of their, you know, standing with Hashem, we just, you know, nothing come on the person because sometimes it's true. You did good there
Yeah,
too,
it's like,
so, you
oh
know,
my
Hashem.
goodness.
Well, as long as you look inside and you did all you can, now maybe it's just outward. She would, you know, see how you are and somehow getting around. But obviously, she needs to deal with something in herself.
Yeah, I mean, she had a horrible sister.
Yeah, she needs to deal with it.
we don't know what's going on in each other's hearts,
Yeah,
or what happened 50 years ago. Nobody knew me here
Yeah.
as
we
I was a
don't
child. No,
know.
I had a good sister, but wow, I was different.
Yeah.
The principal may have some time.
Yeah, I had to apologize to them. Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah. Every day I say, Hashem, don't let me be the same person I was yesterday.
Wow. You're like King David. Hayom ani yilad. Today I gave birth to you. Say that.
Oh, yeah.
You're like
I'm
him.
only 7 years old. Because I'm only converted 7 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, me too.
You're like Sarah.
Yes,
She's
see, another
2018.
7-year-old.
No, I'm only 6.
Six, she's younger than me.
How many years?
7.
7?
Yes.
And you,
So,
how
I'm
many
really
years?
born,
6.
you know, really.
Six?
Almost
I don't know
exactly
what to do.
6. It's coming up March. I mean,
You
Adar
know,
26.
my parents, grandparents were, it's coming from, they're from Kolkata, which a lot of Jews came from there, but they lost it, they joined Christianity, whatever happened, you know. Yeah. But
So,
anyway.
I'm 29.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. Look at
I'm a day old because Hashem created me today.
You're very
I'm just
intelligent for
starting
someone so young.
Precocious is the
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
I walk, I
Brilliant.
talk. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to find one.
It goes by the Torah, you know, how much Torah. Your age, right?
Well, no, I'm
The older
37.
man is good. You cannot make
Young.
Yeah.
We had a closing horse.
What?
And we were closing.
Yeah, this week is Rosh Chodesh on Sunday and Monday. A week from today is first. The 2 months of Adar are so powerful and so happy. And if we can tap into that happiness by dancing, we dance around the table. I don't want to say this, but I try 15 minutes a day. I upped it from 5. And now that I said it probably go down to 0 watch, but hoping not. And I do it with a towel or nothing, a broom, and I sweep away the bad. And this Adar brings the simcha of Adar is how we left Egypt. We left Egypt with joy. We have 2 Adars, and that's the time of Amunah. Things did not look very good for us. Hashem is not his name in the Megillah even once. Nisan is revealed miracles. So we go from the hidden miracles, like we're seeing and experiencing now, to the revealed. So maybe we all go from Adar to Nisan, and first we got a second Adar and real Purim and real joy. Maybe hang on to that and know it's for each and every one of us, each and every day. Hashem loves us.
If you tie the towel to it, a handle of the drawer or something, you get some resistance.
I was a child and I had spasm too. It wouldn't come out. My mother would try and strict her.
And then slam the door.
Yeah.
I'll say it might be like
Never.
Could have a mother.
What should everybody call your mom?
gagging, gag.
That's cute.
Daddy.
Thank you so much, Miriam. Now I can
Thank
finish.